Less than a week into congestion pricing, and the MTA says it's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. And now drivers may not only be the ones helping to fund the subway. New taxes may be needed to fill the MTA's $33 billion budget shortfall.
Opinions vary.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Opinions Varied. It's Opinions with an A. And right, pay up, suckers. Keep paying. Don't worry. Keep giving us more of your money. We just need a little more time. Utopia awaits, we promise. New York. It's where I live. A disaster. Once again, a complete failure. But this is a failure before it even really got off the ground. Congestion pricing. Kathy Hochul. Congestion pricing. The MTA. The worst run public authority, as you'll hear, in the country. And the person that says it, who I'm not a huge fan of, is right. This is absolutely the worst. They lose $700 million a year. New York's annual budget is about $250 billion. That's more than I don't know how many countries, but that's just New York's annual budget. And now they need more money because the MTA is so inefficient, runs so badly, such a mess, that even though they just put congestion pricing in Manhattan, where you're going to get charged $9 just to drive to work down to a certain point in Manhattan, no, that's not even going to come close to covering what they have to cover. That's $1 billion a year. They're short $33 billion. How does that happen? How does anybody there have a job? We're going to hear a clip from a couple years ago from the CEO of the MTA. That's what they call the head of the MTA, the CEO. If he was an actual CEO of any other company, a real company, he would have been fired a long time ago, or the company would have been out of business. But since this is our money, and to them it's monopoly money, they just keep, taking it from us and saying, we need more, we need more, we need more. We promise we're going to get it right. We're going to get it right. They never do. Let's look at this clip from 2 years ago of the CEO of the MTA talking about how people are starting to feel safe on the subway. Feel safe. Everybody's got to feel. You notice that with the Democrats? The economy's great. You just don't feel it. Everything's feelings. How about we get into facts and data and go from there, and maybe we'll start to run this place, like it's supposed to be? Maybe. Let's go.
And despite the rise in transit crime, the head of the MTA says subway riders are feeling safer in the system. Jano Lieber says ridership hit a post-pandemic high yesterday, and he credits safety efforts, including the more than 1,200 officers working underground.
Now remember, this is 2 years ago, October 28th, 2022, as you can see, and people were feeling safer. How do you feel in the subway now if you're from New York, if you have to take it? No, you're taking your life into your own hands every time you go on it. You're either going to get pushed into an oncoming train, or maybe you'll get set on fire. Or maybe you'll just get, a couple of these in the back. I can't say what I want to on YouTube, but, a couple of these, right in the back maybe, or maybe across here, or maybe across here. But you should feel safe, everybody.
Riders are hearing about cops on the platforms and on the trains that
they're hearing them. They're hearing about them. They don't really see them.
Seeing those cops, and they know that cameras are in the system. They also know that we've made
cameras don't stop people.
A special effort to get some of the folks who have severe mental illness the hell out of the subway system.
How's that working out 2 years later?
And we are adding gate guards to knock.
What the hell is a gate guard? It's called you put a cop there. You put a cop at the turnstile so people can't jump it and cause you to lose money. And guess what? You stop these people who jump turnstiles, you're stopping other crimes from happening. It's called the broken window theory. You stop low-level crime, it stops other crimes, because a lot of times the people committing low-level crimes are doing other crimes, or they have warrants out for other crimes, and it works. But we don't like to do that because we don't want to offend anybody anymore. Can't hurt anybody's feelings.
Down the numbers of fare evasion.
So you heard him right there. So 2 years ago, he's gaslighting. They're still gaslighting. You hear him today, it's the same exact spiel. Oh, everybody, you're just feeling like it's not safe. But I swear it really is. It's really safe. Yeah, okay. Tell us something. Really? Ride the subway then, Jano Lieber, without any protection. Go take it without your guards around you, your armed guards, and ride the subway every day, and take it from the Bronx all the way down to the World Trade Center, and let's see how you do. Do it every day. Let's see if you feel safe. Do it at 9, 10 o'clock at night, or at midnight for people who have to work overnights and have to take the subway. See how you feel. See if you feel safe, you clown. Now, let's get into Mike Lawler. He's the one I was talking about before, who I'm not a huge fan of. He is a Republican congressman from New York. Now, in New York, we can't get real conservative people in the Republican Party because they won't get elected, because people in this state, even upstate a little bit, you can't get a legitimate conservative. Elise Stefanik is the closest you're ever going to get to a real conservative in New York State as a representative. So Mike Lawler, who's very moderate, he's rhino-ish completely, but we'll take it, I guess, if we're in New York. And Mike Lawler has his sights set on governor to replace Kathy Hochul, and I think he's actually got a chance, because just from here, the way he talks here, being from this state, he's resonating. Trust me. And you'll see what I mean, because he goes on Joe Scarborough, who's actually letting Republicans onto his show now, and he's actually letting them talk, because I guess, Joe Scarborough knows that if he doesn't start doing that, he's going to be kicked off the air soon, because the ratings on that show are abysmal since Donald Trump got reelected. Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski, the ones who went to have lunch with the Yahtzee Donald Trump, right? That's the ones we're talking about. And he's going to basically school them, and they're really not going to have much to counter him with, because he's just making sense. These are layups. These are ground balls. And Democrats, they continue to let ground balls, and I say it all the time, go right through their legs, and they let Republicans round second base into scoring position, round third base, and score a run. And you know what? Keep doing it. Please keep doing it, because it's the only way we're going to get our country back, because you have moderate Democrats in this state. You have the crazies on the left, but you have moderate Democrats. You have a lot of people, and we've had Republican governors before. We had George Pataki. He's very moderate. Donald Trump ended his career, basically, when George Pataki ran for president. But that's the best we're going to hope for in New York, and I think Lawler has a chance. So let's hear from him.
Talk about congestion pricing now, and it's split a lot of New Yorkers, and I understand. I mean, it is really hard on commuters, and it's very difficult for a lot of people getting in and out of New York City.
What he said, it's split New Yorkers. No, it hasn't split New Yorkers. It's split New York politicians. There's some who want it, like the MTA, and everybody in favor of them, and there's a lot that don't, like Mike Lawler. It hasn't split New Yorkers. Every New Yorker thinks this sucks.
It just can't afford this new tax. I do wonder, though, as you drive around New York and you look at it, seems like everything was built during the Depression, right? It seems like so much of the infrastructure there is 70, 80, 90, 100 years old and needs updating, needs renovating.
What about Joe Biden's infrastructure bill that he brags about all the time? This is what I'm talking about. And by the way, if you're still watching, I appreciate it. Please like, share, and subscribe. I do content like this every single day, at least one video a day. Please like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel as it grows. But getting back to this now, when does this happen? We hear about it all the time, right? This infrastructure has been here since the Great Depression in New York City. Well, that's 80, 90, 100 years ago now. And it just, nobody does anything about it. Where's the money? Where does the money go? No, we just need more. We need congestion pricing. Now we need another tax because the congestion pricing is not going to cover it. No, to hell with that. I'm not paying anymore. I could at least avoid that tax that they put in New York City on a congestion. I just won't go there. But I'm not going to just have my paycheck deducted now because New York City New York City needs more money to fix the trains that they've let to go to hell for the past 60 years.
Daddy, chill.
If not congestion pricing, then what do New Yorkers do? What do we all do to keep that infrastructure up to date?
We elect people with a brain.
Well, first, New York got $100 billion from the bipartisan infrastructure bill. And the state, frankly, has done a horrible job of releasing those funds.
Releasing the funds? Where is it?
For infrastructure improvements, not just in New York City, but across the state. Secondarily, the MTA...
People are crooks. They're flat out crooks.
Which is the worst run authority in America.
Agreed.
And as I fundamentally believe needs an enema. The fact is the MTA loses $700 million a year from people who refuse to pay to ride the subway. They jumped the...
Let me tell you something. These prices, that includes the Long Island Railroad, by the way, the MTA, it's not cheap. How are you losing $700 million a year? Not 700,000, not 7 million, not 70 million, 700 million. How?
Daddy, chill.
Turnstile. They refuse to pay. And in fact, you just saw a video of two men jumping the turnstile moments before a man was pushed right in front of an oncoming subway car. Fortunately, he survived.
A miracle.
But the fact is, it encapsulates exactly what the problem is. in New York and in the subway system. Crime is up on the subways. Murders are up over 60% on the subways.
No, but Jan Lieber, whatever his name is, says you feel safe. Okay, forget those numbers, everybody. Forget the facts and data, like I said in the beginning of the video. Forget that. You feel safe, don't you? Or maybe you're just feeling unsafe, but it really isn't unsafe. You're just feeling that way. Like you were feeling the economy was bad, but it was really good.
We saw a woman be burned alive. People do not feel safe to ride the subway system, which is part of the reason why revenue is down.
It's because they're not safe. That's why they feel unsafe, because they are not safe.
For the MTA. But let's be clear, this is a scam, congestion pricing. It has nothing to do with reducing congestion. It has nothing to do with the environment. It has everything to do with the MTA raising $1 billion in revenue so that it can borrow $15 billion more. This is a authority that is already tens of billions of dollars in debt and has individual borrowing authority. It needs to be completely overhauled. I absolutely agree there needs to be infrastructure upgrades, but this is a scam. The fact is, Governor Hochul is charging the average New Yorker $2,500 more to drive into the city to go to work on an annual basis. And meanwhile, she's spending billions.
Could you imagine that? Could you afford that, everybody? That's $2,500 chopped off right off the top, chopped right off of your already taxed income. Okay, all the money that is already taxed out of your paycheck, you're going to pay another $2,500 on top of that.
Billions of dollars in taxpayer money on free housing, clothing, food, education, and healthcare for illegal immigrants.
Bingo.
So if we want to talk about priorities, if we want to talk about investing in New York's outdated and antiquated infrastructure, we have to look at how New York is spending its money to begin with. They've increased state spending from $178 billion just 4 years ago to $239 billion, and now they need another $1 billion from hardworking commuters. Doesn't make a lot of sense, Joe.
Look, this is egregious.
Congressman, let's push you a little bit on this. I mean, you say you're obviously very critical of the MTA just now, but say you do want infrastructure improvements, repairs. If not congestion pricing, where does that money come from?
He just said where it comes from. Did you not hear a word he said? He just said illegal immigrants. He just said that's one place.
Propose the state do pay for these things. And we also know that, as in other cities, London, for instance, congestion pricing has made an impact on traffic, there's been an environmental impact. So
says who? Where's the study? You just said something. I want to know where you got that from. Again, this is the thing. See, now you're talking to somebody who's not just going to go, no, he's actually going to push back on you a little bit and disagree with you. See, you just said that congestion pricing works in London to help the environment. Based on what? Based on whose study? Based on what facts and data? Give it to me. No, it just keeps going. He just rolls on.
Why are you discounting that? How do you pay for all this?
I would strongly disagree with it being proven to work in London. But here's fundamentally, you're not going to reduce congestion. In fact, what you're going to do is shift it. So areas in the Bronx, for instance, where they have among the highest asthma rates in the world, you are going to have traffic move there for people to commute down into central and lower Manhattan.
Yep. You're also going to have it in the other side in New Jersey. It's going to be like this. You got the North Bronx and you got the South from New Jersey, and it's going to be like this, crushing in.
But the funding is very simple. Every year, as I said before, the MTA loses $700 million from people who refuse to pay to use the actual system.
Is that all from fare beating? $700 million? If that's the case, then I don't even know what to say. I have no words.
So you can start by enforcing your fare, number one. Number two, as I just pointed out, New York is spending last year $4 billion for free housing, clothing, food, education, and healthcare for illegal immigrants.
$4 billion.
Now, New York chose to be a sanctuary state and city. So, of course, people are going to come here. The fact is that
I didn't choose it.
These are policy choices that New York makes. I'll give you another one. New York spends $100 million on taxpayer funds for campaign finance. They have a matching funds program, welfare for politicians. So take that $100 million, put it towards the MTA. There's no reason to pay for political campaigns with taxpayer money. So there's a lot that New York can do in a $239 billion budget, up $61 billion over 4 years, to actually prioritize the MTA. In addition, the MTA needs a full audit.
New York is under full Democrat control, by the way. Democrats don't know how to govern anything. I wouldn't let them run a lemonade stand in the middle of the desert. They would somehow bankrupt it. It somehow wouldn't be profitable. If the lemonade stand was in the desert where people cross through in the desert, they'd still find a way to bankrupt the lemonade stand in the desert.
And the MTA needs to have a complete overhaul, starting with removal of all of its management. Jano Lieber needs to go. The fact that this guy was celebrating the start of congestion pricing on top of a cherry picker the other day, as if, for some bizarre reason, he thought as a unelected bureaucrat that he should be celebrating fleecing hardworking New Yorkers of their money. It's bizarre.
These are elitists. They're tone-deaf elitists. These are the people that want to control you like this, like the puppet strings. These are those people. They want the Hunger Games. If you're familiar with those movies, that's what they want. City-states, Hunger Games, them and everybody else. That's it.
The MTA needs a complete overhaul. There's a lot of ways to fund its operations and its capital improvements, but fleecing hardworking New Yorkers at $2,500 annually is not one of them.
Republican Congressman Mike Lawler of New York, thank you for being with us. We look forward to you coming back and announcing your run for governor sometime soon. When's that going to be?
We'll look midsummer. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
We hope to have you on many times before then, but maybe you can make the announcement here. Thank you so much, Congressman. Greatly appreciate it.
So you heard that, and Mike Lawler, I've been seeing him everywhere on Fox News. Everywhere in Fox News, Fox Business, Fox News, the regular channel. And I've been wondering, why is he on so much lately? And there it is. He wants to run for governor of New York. And just the way he's talking right there, he's the best I'm going to do. He's got my vote right now. Right now. 7 days a week, twice on Sunday. He's got my vote. Because we can't do this anymore. I either have to move, or I got to get some better leadership and politicians running my state. I would say, I've said on this channel before that if the election was today, that Lee Zeldin, who lost 2 years ago by only about 6 points to Kathy Hochul, the election's today, Lee Zeldin wins. Lawler will win. Just talking like that. As I said, he's not Greg Abbott. He's not going to be Greg Abbott as the governor of New York. Never going to get that in New York, ever. Never going to happen. But we take a guy like Mike Lawler. Because I said he's the best we're going to do. And I know people, you could do. No, you can't do better. Trust me. You'll never do better than that right there. Not in this state. Not in this state. If you never watched me before, sometimes I get a little animated. Especially this one. This is personal. This is my state. Now they're telling me I'm going to pay more taxes in New York State because the congestion pricing that they're forcing people who go to work in Manhattan to pay, that's not going to be enough. And it came out a week ago. And it's not enough already. I tell you, Democrats, they are destroying themselves. They are so inept. They have become so inept and so focused on the wrong things, and we know what all those wrong things are. We've been over it ad nauseum. Everybody talks about them. All the stuff, the identity politics, the DEI, all of it. They are turning. I don't know when they're going to wake up. And as I said, I don't want them to wake up. I want them to stay doing this for a while now, so we can have a good 10, 12-year run maybe to get this country back. For everybody who's an American citizen. Everybody who's an American citizen deserves to be prioritized. So tell me what you guys think in the comments. I really appreciate you watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm really trying to grow the channel. I'm having a blast doing it. And, when you comment, I will comment back if I can find the comments. YouTube is horrible with the comments. I look over like 3 different apps on the desktop, in YouTube Studio, on my TubeBuddy app. I look everywhere to find comments. And when I find them, I will comment back to you. So, again, appreciate you watching. I'll see you next time right here at Opinions Vary.
Opinions vary.